Alrighty, welcome back to yet another episode on WJR Garage, and today's all about the tracker and about this bumper. We need to get it off the bungee cords, if you can see it. Bungee cords, and just kind of sitting on there. So we're taking it off the bungee cords and onto the frame, so stay tuned. Alrighty guys, I used some CAD to come up with the inner frame rail pieces. So this is, both sides are the same, but I'm just going to cut it out by hand because I don't want to deal with trying to CNC this stuff out right here. So I'll just cut it out by hand. It'll be really quick and easy. Alrighty, there it is, all bolted up, fairly level. I don't love it, but I also don't hate it, so we'll leave it on there till I either rip it off or damage it or come up with something else. all bolted up, grade 8 bolts. So next up is going to be trying to get that winch to clear. So if you can see straight down on it, those are the bolt holes, and that back set of bolt holes is underneath the front grill. So I'm going to cut a bunch of the grill out until it fits, and then kind of it'll be recessed in there just a little bit. So we'll do that, and then see how that goes. Alrighty guys, that is that. Grill's sitting back on there, winch is in place, everything's pretty good. Looks pretty cool when the grill's on there and everything's just hanging out. Alright, so something I did forget is this control box, I guess is what you call this thing. And this also needs to be recessed into the grill, so I'm gonna kind of mark this thing best I can, and then we will cut a spot in the plastic for it, and then all should be well. So that's what I'm doing. Stay. Alright guys, that thing looks sweet. Everything fit just awesome. Kind of sunk into the grill like that. I mean, it looks pretty sweet to put on the old tracker. But I'm stoked about that. We'll get it wired up another time and give it some tests. Okay, it's 6:30 in the morning on Columbus Day, and we are heading up to Shirley, Arkansas to go grab some tracker parts. I'm just rocking out to Bobby Bones and heading north. So they have a 2003 Chevy tracker, just like mine, same color, and it is a 4-door though, and apparently they interchange on parts. A couple Facebook gurus let me know, so we're gonna go grab the fenders, I believe, possibly the hood, some tail lights, maybe a couple grill pieces, but that's it. Well guys, unfortunately it is not the one I came for, but it is a tracker and it's just slightly different colored, so these parts will work. I was just hoping for the silver one so that way it would just match everything, but it is what it is. We'll just come grab these parts off there and should be good to go. we got some drive shaft pieces in, so that's one thing that I'm going to be trying to assemble today, is going to be that drive shaft, or just try to figure what the heck I'm going to do with it. So it's pretty much going to be 3 drive shafts in one. What I got to do today is, this is going to go here, Toyota flange, 1310 U-joint. This OD right here is 2 inches. This OD over here is 2 inches. So I'm going to be going to get 2-inch ID tubing, slipping it onto this portion of the drive shaft, which is 1310. This is the one I need. Slipping it onto here, welding it onto there, cutting this, however you want to call this flange or this bigger portion here. Cutting that off of there and then slipping the other side of the tube onto that. So it would essentially be, you know, this is my drive shaft that I need with piece of tubing inside of in the middle of it. So that is what I'm gonna go do. I'm gonna go grab some tubing right now and some sheet metal that I already purchased I haven't picked up yet, and we'll go from there. Okay, so something that's pretty important is getting this thing mounted into the pinion so I can actually measure how long my drive shaft needs to be. So once this is mounted, I got the other part slipped in the T-case. You really just measure to see how much tubing you need between them, and then you're done. So yeah, that's that. And then, if you haven't noticed, we got a beautiful used fender on the tracker. So might not be the right color. We'll get that figured out another time. But yeah, it's coming together. Alright, so as soon as I got done with the rear drive shaft, the UPS guy was nice enough to drop off the slip yoke eliminator from Trail Tough, I think it's called. Yeah, Trail Tough. So this is the slip yoke eliminator for the front of the transfer case, and they don't make one for the rear in my year. They make them for other years, but this is fine spline, I guess is what they call it. The splines inside are more fine than the more coarse rear. So anywho, cool. So I can get this front drive shaft working, or at least underway, and then I already had a flange for it. So this flange lines up nicely. The front drive shaft should be pretty easy. So that is what I am going to be working on right meow. So in order for this to, the slip yoke eliminator to fit in there, I guess, you have to clearance this case right here. So we'll grind this, this whole area out just a little bit at a time, and then try the new flange, and if it needs more, grind more. So we'll do that until she slides on there. Okay, well, that's on there. I didn't do it per the instructions, but I did it per WGR Garage, and I ended up welding on a 1/2-inch bolt in the center to the actual output shaft. I just TIG welded it on there, and I did that because I broke a tap off inside of the shaft. So I snapped the tap, got creative, didn't want to pull the whole T-case out, and then yeah, I TIG welded the whole bolt head. I ground the bolt head down to a cylinder shape and then welded it to the shaft, put everything on there, tightened down the nut. Everything's good. So not necessarily correct, but it does work. So it's on there. Everything's good. Everything's nice and seated. Put the new seal behind it. Now tomorrow I will just be working on connecting the rest of this stuff. So, well, this never happens. So I needed a drive shaft or some pieces of a drive shaft so I can make one work on this thing. And I ordered a Suzuki Samurai, 90s model Suzuki Samurai front drive shaft. And the dang thing is like perfect. It's like the exact length I need. Pretty happy with it as is. I'll check it at full droop to make sure it doesn't separate too much, but I think it's pretty dang good. So pretty pumped about that. I'll bolt it in at another time, but I'm going to call it quits on this video. So once again, guys, I appreciate you guys watching. Hit that like button, smash that subscribe button, share, do all that good stuff, and we'll see you on the next one. Thanks.